I love that skydiving is one of those sort of automatic go-to things that, like your happy button, you know how to push it. And I noticed in myself, there was a phase where, especially when I was a newer jumper, if I couldn't jump, I didn't feel like a jumper. If I couldn't jump, I couldn't push that pleasure button, and I couldn't get access to that neural network, which was my new persona, And as I got older in the sport, longer in the tooth, I started to realize that we're all jumpers even when we're on the ground. And that you can switch on conversations, or you're playing with gear, or when you're surfing the internet learning, or watching the shock and awe videos on YouTube and all that. You're being a jumper, you're inhabiting that role. And so I think that perspective really helps people when they stand down because the winds are too bad, or they have to stand down for months because they're injured, or it's winter, or they're broke, or the lady had a baby and she doesn't feel like jumping out of a plane for a while. I get it. We just have to recognize that our source of self-esteem and joy and exuberance that comes up through skydiving wasn't really coming up through skydiving itself. It was coming up through us. It was coming up through the crack of least resistance, what you might call worthiness of happiness, because you jump out of an airplane, right? And the planet doesn't hit you. You manage to get nylon over your head and you land safely through this pretty dangerous thing. And you go, wow, all right, I'm worthy of this sensation. I'm worthy of this joy and allowance of my competence. I just proved that I'm not a moron because I didn't die. I love that. I love that. And I also think that there's a sanity that comes in later as we start to transcend the need to prove ourselves again and again in the most recent possible ways. You just kind of release from that and you go, I am still that guy that cut away that malfunction and pulled my reserve. I'm still that guy that got stable after the tumbled exit, even though I'm sitting on the ground, in my rocking chair, sipping my iced tea. You know what I mean? I'm not, maybe I haven't jumped in years. Oh, I remember back in the old days. Yeah, that's going to be us someday, where we're not actively jumping anymore because our bodies are just toast. Fine. But you still have access to the sensation, to the feeling, to the emotional experience, and more importantly, the sense of worthiness, that you deserve, all the good things. You deserve abundance. You deserve, affection, respect, from the people around you. Like, yeah, you're right. You're a skydiver, right? Yeah. So you jump out of a plane and you keep saving your own life. Yeah. Just like you do when you drive a car, right? Just like you do when you wash your hands after you had something bad on them. You save, every time I go hiking and I find a mushroom that's questionable and I wash my hands afterwards after I touched it, I might have saved my own life. That could have been a toxic mushroom. So all those choices, to me, it leads us to have the opportunity to feel the worthiness. Doesn't mean we take it though. I was picturing like standing under a waterfall where the waterfall is just giving you, affection and respect and love, or whatever you want to call that, sense of worthiness. And we just put this umbrella up and go, yeah, but you don't know, man, I did this, you know what I mean? I landed in the trees, I skidded my leg straps on the runway, and I'm not sure I deserve to feel a level of confidence and comfort and self-affection and self-respect. So we just have to, I think, just continually observe how we relate to our sense of worthiness as a human being, because if we don't, then you're starved of life force. You're starved of what gives you the ability to breathe in one more time, Yeah. I think that it's something I've been pondering a lot lately, scribbling in notebooks is what gives me and everybody else, a buoyancy. Because life is going to continue to give us challenges. It's going to continue to give us, all kinds of resistance and difficulty and need for change. like the need for change we were talking about with the computers, right? It's like, yeah, you got to learn it. If you don't learn it, you're going to be left behind unless you want to, wear a beaver cap and hunt elk in Alaska for a living. You're going to have to learn it, and it's painful. And the lack of worthiness, I think, sometimes causes me to go, yeah, but I'm just, I was born in the 60s, man. I don't know how to do this stuff. I'm just an old guy that, maybe I can figure out how to operate YouTube, but TikTok, there's always, like, where is that technological line? Well, I mean, I'll jump out of planes, but I won't look at that fancy fly site data. That's just too much. I'm not going to look at my GPS tracks on the ground because it's over analyzing and it's too much. Yeah, that's the grouchy old guy showing up again, and it's stopping me from evolving, utilizing technologies and information. So I say just throw yourself back in, everybody, just try a little bit more, a little bit harder to expand what you're doing, expand what you are learning, and expand your perspective of this. What am I capable of? When I teach a canopy course, and I can see there's a bunch of people, like this, and a bunch of people that are like, because the ones that expect change and believe in themselves and lean forward are looking back on their past history, sort of seeing the high water marks of, I rocked that, I fixed that, and that's their self-esteem causing them to expect continual improvement. And then you got the ones that are like, you don't know me, man. I screwed up. I pulled my handles in the wrong order that one time. You know what I mean? I forgot the skydive, and everybody was telling me where I had to dock, and that, I'm that guy.
My personal favorite is I crash every landing.
I crash it. Stop saying that, please. I mean, even if it is true in terms of the actual events that have occurred up till now, it doesn't mean the future is going to be like that. Unless you keep saying, I crash every landing. So I think painting a mental picture in a way that leads you to expect that there will be continual and sometimes painful improvement. There's always growing pains. The change is a Band-Aid getting pulled off. But you're not going to heal it till the sun gets on it. You gotta sort of shine a light on how you suck, so you don't suck anymore in that department. There's going to be another area. It's going to show up. You're like, oh yeah, that's I've got these old habits, or my fear causing me to do stereotypical traps, stereotypical habits. Either way, I got to change them. It's not who you are, it's just what you did. The history is it's an important idea. That this is what happened. This is what your life led to in that moment, you making that low turn, or you landing off the drop zone, or fighting a malfunction too low. There's lots of things in this sport that are going to keep happening.
But today can be different.
Right? The future is wide open. And in the identity as who you were in the past is something that doesn't suit us. We need better imagination than that. We need to envision a future leveraging the past, not ignoring it, but at the same time, I'm my vision for the future. That's who I am, not the past that launched that vision.
In the chilly hours and minutes of uncertainty, I want to be in the warm hold of your love and mine, to feel you all around me, and to take your hand along the sand. But I may as well try and catch the wind. When sundown pales the sky, I want to hide a while behind your smile, and everywhere I'd look, your eyes would 'twould make me sing. But I may as well try and catch the wind. When rain has hung the leaves with tears, I want you near to kill my fears, to help me to leave all my blues behind. For standing in your heart is where I want to be and long to be. But I may as well try and catch the wind. But I may as well try